What's up, Cabbage Crew? It is Matt and John here doing the Dragon Prince Season 4 review. We did one for Season 3, but it may or may not have been lost. So here we are for Season 4. John, if you want to just jump right into it, we can just jump right into it. We'll do some pros, we'll do some cons. We'll talk about a couple individual characters, maybe a favorite moment or two. But let's go ahead and start off with the positives of the season. Before you do that, make sure you subscribe. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate all the love. Now, John, you can go ahead.
Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers, tell your boss, tell your directors, tell your, I don't know.
Tell your directors. a lot of film students that probably watch this. All right. Well, go ahead. What are some positives about this season, John? That you really stood out?
Definitely the anime. I think the animation's been just solid, probably from season late, maybe middle of 2 to now.
Yeah.
And so you got that. You got the color schemes working out really, really well. I think the direction is also a positive aspect in the sense of for cutscenes, it would be like intense, and then go right to another subplot, or another intense moment.
Yeah,
and then you got the just the quest of what Callum, Rayla, Ezra, and the gang, the OG gang here, what they're trying to find the map to Erebos and trying to prevent Claudia and Viren and Terry, if he counts, from getting there and destroying the world, I guess. But so like that, it was interesting to see Rayla come back after a few years, because that's the same season. We're in that same season, and it's interesting how they did a time jump. And I know that Rayla was supposed to stay, but she left for 2 years, and just the relationship thing was kind of awkward, but they kind of made it work, and but they were still fighting over it within the season, which was more of a negative thing to me than a positive. But like I liked the ideas of what were brought in, and a handful of them ended up working out pretty well, but others did not. And then going to the subplot with like Janai and Amaya, I thought was pretty good. Like they showed Amaya and Janai like complimenting each other as a couple, and just they rely on each other. They bring out the best in both, and so
that relationship,
like when Janai is feeling like the weight of the crown on herself, like Amaya like tells her like, this is like your responsibility. This has been your responsibility. So like, which do you want? Do you want me, or do you want the crown? And then and then Amaya's like, well, how about a solution? You can do both things at once.
Right.
And just trying to hone her down. It was good.
Yeah, I think the strength. I do agree with what you said. I think they had a lot of great ideas in this season. I do the subplot. We're just gonna call it what it is. It whenever we refer to a subplot, it's going to be the Anaya subplot. It was just it's the subplot. But I think the subplot was a good concept. But I think it kind of dragged on a little bit, and in reality, I don't think a lot of it landed for me. But I do, and that's a negative, but I do really like you said, the main quest and the plot of the main quest was done really well. The pacing of it, I thought, was really done really well. Especially the last like 5 episodes. Episodes went by fast, and also they all ended on a cliffhanger. So it was never a dull. I mean, it was one of those. It was one of those seasons where you could sit down and watch 9 episodes in a row because every episode led to the next. Every episode felt like it was a cliffhanger, and it felt like it was a 15-minute episode, not a 25, 26-minute episode. So, and that, in my opinion, is like the best type of shows. And even I think at the peak of Dragon Prince, which a lot of people say is season 3, I would probably agree season 3 is a tad bit better than season 4. But I don't think it flowed as well as this season. This season flowed really well. And I think the main story, not the subplot, but the main story did a good job of getting us from point A to point B, point A to point Z, however you want to look at it. So I really like that a lot. And just the whole even like very early on, like episode 2, I think it was when they killed the Dragon Guard, and Terry killed him, and it led to the next episode. It was like, oh wow, funeral. And then they get to the next step. It's like every episode.
Yeah.
Every episode felt important seeing, and every episode felt like the end of it was just like, holy crap, Callum getting controlled. And it's just like, there was never a dull moment at the tail end of an episode, which is what you want. So I really like that a lot. But you mentioned color schemes. This is kind of a new territory where we're at, which is this whole series has been kind of a adventure, but this is a very new area that we're at with the Earth Blood Elves. It kind of gives me the fall feel. Great color schemes, like you said. Great world building. With them seeming like they have smaller dragons as mounts. So I think all that was great. I think I always like in shows, and especially in this show, where it's like you introduce me to a tribe that has its own kind of culture, and it very much brings out the world building. So I like that a lot.
Yes. No, yeah, just to build off of that, just to build the world off that.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I totally agree, Coco.
Coco, it is.
Jeez, you're just insane. But
with a hint of whiskey. No, I'm just kidding.
Jack Daniels, anyway. But no, I totally agree with you in terms of the world building was very good with the more dragons, more magic systems, and moon opals becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Just new names and new objects were very well put into place. I actually do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you find it annoying, or do you think they do a good enough job in their homage to Avatar: The Last Airbender with a lot of the plots, with a lot of the very similar plot structures of in episodes past, and Lord of the Rings and other fantasy fantasy systems.
This season had a lot of Lord of the Rings in it. Like Lord of the Rings aspects in it.
Do you think they did over the top, or do you think it was just enough, or did?
Well, I will say when they pay homage like fourth wall breaking, I always appreciate that because not everyone watched Avatar, so some people don't really care. Like when he said yip yip, like that's something that it's just like that is clearly a fourth wall breaking wink at the audience. I don't mind that because it's happened like 3 times. If they did it like every other episode, it'd be like, all right, guys, calm. Like I think they did it when he says something familiar about this object, and he looks at it, and we all know boomerang. Yep. They did it when they said honor, and then like they yelled it, and then they did it with the yip yip moment. I think that is the ones I've seen. I believe those are the only straight up references they have made to Avatar: Last Airbender. They might have done one in season 1, but I don't think of it. A lot of the things that we recognize from Avatar are also just fantasy tropes. So I can't just say for instance, we're in a cave. We have to get out of here. The creature that's holding us in this cave is now trying to make it collapse. That happens in a lot of, that's a very stereotypical trope that is used in fantasy specifically, especially like adventure fantasies. They used it in Avatar. They use it in this. Sure, but they use it in a lot of other fantasy things. So,
but this is different because it's the original writer from Avatar. So like that's what I mean.
Right. I mean, but again, it's like
there had to be some borrowing there. Like
there is, but there's borrowing for everything. Avatar borrows a lot from Star Wars. So does Marvel. So
sure, but I'm just saying. Do you think they did it? Do you think?
I think they did. That being said, I think they did it well. I think they've done it well. As long as it's not too on the nose, and there probably has been a few, but like for instance, that big plot points, I don't really care too much. Like for instance, last season when they went to the desert, and it's like, okay, group goes into the desert, goes to the oasis, loses their ride, stranded in the desert now, like that concept. Cool. But you can make an argument that's in a lot of fantasy, and they did it very differently, so they didn't just lose their ride. They lost Zim. They had to go retrieve him, and they ended up getting to the ride very quickly. It's not like they were lost in the desert for 2 episodes. So like certain tropes they bring up, I think they do a good job at steering away from Avatar, but also sticking to a trope that Avatar also has done. So, yeah, I mean, like for instance, if they went to an Iceland and Ezra and Ezra falls in love with the princess, but doesn't think he's worthy of the princess because he feels like he's not a good king, and the princess is supposed to be married to some man, and she, it's like that would be too spot on, and that's not a trope that every fantasy does. That would be like, okay, let's steer away a little bit. So, but yeah, I had another big positive. I forgot what it was, to be honest, but no, maybe I think overall though, I'll probably remember it, but overall I think the season really good. I mean, with positives come negatives.
Yeah.
Do you want to spit any negatives that you may have? Just
before we get into the negatives, I think like the character development of Callum, of Rayla, of Ezra, even and Soren have grown a lot in this season, and they actually this season kind of like flip-flopped like a few of my favorite characters now. I think Rayla's still my overall favorite character, I would say. But like in this season, I would say she's like third.
Yeah.
And I would say like number 1 is probably Callum, then 2 Soren, and then and then Rayla. And then probably Terry. But no, I mean, it's just, I think there's been a lot of character growth that I've seen. They've the voice actors and the writers have provided the characters a lot of growth.
They worked out a lot of the kinks too.
Yeah, a little bit. And obviously we talked about this in a few, like one of our last reaction videos of and again, I know that I'm bouncing between positive and negative here, but in a very serious moment coming off as a joke that just doesn't land.
Yeah.
It's very awkward. But that anyway, that goes in the negative column. But
I would say a positive about that is it because it has happened this season. I think it happened last episode, but it's way more far and few in between. It might happen twice in a season, 3 in a season, where season 1 happened every episode, maybe twice an episode.
Yeah, it was like 5 times, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, man, that episode wasn't that good because it could have been good, but because they did that so much and they failed the comedy. There was multiple episodes in season 1 where we felt like the writing wasn't great, the comedy didn't land, and now like I said, they worked out the kinks. Now they know what characters to lean on with comedy. Soren, now they know what characters to lean on with certain character development stuff. Like if you haven't noticed, this season, very little Ezra character development.
No.
Very little, like a little bit, but they've leaned on.
Not enough. Yeah,
they've leaned on. I mean, the series just kind of knows. Like, you like Rayla, you like Callum, you like the family. What are we gonna do? We're gonna build up Claudia and her father's relationship. We're gonna add a new character, Terry, to make her more likable and also show signs of good and humanity, like her giving the coins to the cursed coins at the end to Rayla, and we're going to build Rayla's character more because you like Rayla's character, and we're going to build Callum's character, and Amaya. Everyone loves Aunt Amaya. Like a lot of people, she's a very good character, and she's not necessarily like she's not either of our favorites, I don't think.
No.
But she's like a strong character that we want to see more of. So they did that. They leaned into that. So, and I think that's always a good job by shows to understand, like, all right, build the foundations in season 1 and season 2, continue growing the story, and then what works, and you can make an argument, Avatar: Last Airbender might have done this. I don't know. I wasn't, I was a kid when it came out, but for all we know, and I've watched some documentaries, but it's like, they seem to lean more on Zuko and Iroh towards season 2, season 3, where season 1, they're kind of villains, but throwaway villains. You kind of feel sorry for them. But like midway through season 2, very Zuko Iroh heavy. And by mid season 3, it's the Zuko show, and it really is. I mean, the last 6 episodes, it's the last 10 episodes, you can make an argument Zuko's the main character of it. So just those 10 episodes. But they're kind of doing that with Rayla. They're kind of doing that with the Soren relationship with Callum and or not Callum, Claudia. So you don't know what.
I feel like it was kind of equal, like not maybe like a 60-40
for what? For Avatar or
like where the yeah.
I second half of season 3 is Zuko. I mean, Aang's not even.
I'm talking about season 1.
Yeah, but you figure when you ask someone what's season 1 about, it's Aang's journey from South Pole to North Pole, and you have some angry guy chasing him, and you learn about that angry guy a little bit, and you start liking him. But the majority of it is about Aang, and Zuko is the secondary character, but you don't even know what Zuko. Really, what's the story? So he's more of the. Well,
you learn about his story in season 1.
No, you do, and he's more of the greater of two evils. Like by the end of season 1, you're not even 1,000% sure if he's going to be redeemed. I mean, you have a feeling he will be, but like, it's mainly Aang and the crew. I guess what I'm saying is by the end of from season 1 to the end of season 3. The second half of season 3, Zuko is pretty much the main character of the majority of those episodes. He goes on multiple small quests with the team. A lot of those episodes, Aang's not even in or barely in. Even part 2, while Aang's doing a fight scene, which is really cool, Zuko's more of the emotional impact scene of Days of Future Past, Day of Black Sun. So anyway, going back to this, I just think that is kind of where we're heading, where it's the writers understand what characters people are shifting towards. I've always felt like Ezran has been the kind of, even though I like Ezran, he's kind of the weaker of the main 3.
And you can make the argument that they're realizing their audience too.
Exactly. Yes.
And not in the sense of like casting favorites. I'm just saying no one's really like, I don't know if it's like maybe Ezran's age watching this more so.
Right.
It's usually like the older brother of a sibling of Ezran, like kind of thing. It's essentially like it's a brother show.
Yeah. No, it's a little brother, older brother. They give each other advice. Even in this season, Ezran was helping Callum a little bit with advice. No, and that's a great aspect of the show. So I mean, and I think they built on that this season. I'm just, I guess, saying that one of the strengths of this season, opposed to maybe season 2 or season 1 or even season 3, is that they kind of knew what characters to lean towards and what characters to make the center focus of each episode.
Right.
And they made sure we're going to make them the characters you like more. So
yeah, I don't disagree.
Okay, so let's talk about some negatives. We've already mentioned a little bit about the relationship, I should say, of Callum and Rayla.
Hmm.
I'll let you start because you brought it up.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the same thing from last season of season 3. It was like, do we like each other? Do we not like each other? I don't know. You're back now, so what should we do? I don't know. And it's like there should have just been one serious conversation about it, and then you move,
Yeah.
and then you move on.
That or like, yeah, that or I was gonna say like, go. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna end my point by saying that like the way that the writers put this out there was as if they were thinking that they both might like each other again, which I can see the argument because it's been 2 years and it's like, oh, did I lose my feelings for you? I can get that. I can get that argument, but it just felt like this was them figuring out their feelings for the first time, not the second time.
Yeah, and also like I feel like they both, like you said, have a conversation. I guess they were maybe going to, and then something happened. I forgot, but like both characters know both characters like each other.
Yeah.
Like last time they saw each other, they were together saying "I love you," and nothing has happened since. It's not like they broke up. Like she had to run away. She had to go. She went to go capture someone and come back. So for me, it's just like you said, it's almost like we're midway through season 3. Like we just did this already. Like, you know, we're midway through season 3. They kiss once at the Palmer Oasis, or whatever it was, you know, and we got this weird like, do I like you? Do you like me? Relationship between them two for 2 or 3 episodes, you know, in the back half of season 3. And then we finally confess each other's love to each other, maybe 2 or 3 episodes, you know, with the episode or 2 left in the series or season. And now we start off this season right back where we were
exactly
halfway through season 3, as if they just kissed for the first time like 4 episodes ago. And now they're in this awkward phase again.
Yeah.
So, especially when it's reversed in the sense of like Callum, we knew when it first got brought up to us, the story first brought up the idea that them two liked each other. It was through Rayla's eyes, if you don't remember. Rayla was the one. Rayla was the one that when he was knocked out was like, "I love you," you know, and we both were like, "What?" Like that came out of nowhere, but okay, you know. And then she also kissed him first, and he pulled back and was like, "I don't really know." And then at the end of the episode, he's like, "I do love you," you know. Cool. Mm-hmm. So now we know Callum is still in love with her. So we just kind of are like, Rayla probably loves you too, man. Like she liked you from the day she met you. Like referring back to Avatar: Last Airbender, it's like if Aang and Katara had you know, Aang was out, got knocked out for 3 months or 3 weeks, and then he woke up and Katara is like, I don't know if he still likes me or not. It's like the entire series, trust me, he does, Katara. like,
right.
like, you know, so it's frustrating where if it was the opposite, and maybe we were like, if it was the opposite and Rayla came back and was like, I still really like him. I made a mistake. I left and I never came back. I don't know if he likes me or not. And we don't know if Callum likes him or not. We just know Callum's a little upset. It's like, oh, maybe he doesn't like her. Maybe he doesn't forgive her. But we know that they forgive each other and they love each other. So let's just continue. Like it's
right. No, it's super frustrating.
Yeah. And it almost feels like we're just gonna go into season 5 with the finale of season 5 with them saying I love you again, which has already now happened. And it just seems repetitive.
You know what? I'm going to disagree for disagree's sake because I thought they were going to do that at the end of season 3, and yet they put that like the 3rd or 4th episode. And so
yeah, I did say a while back they were going to get together for the first time in season 5.
The re-get back together.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be I think it's going to be like same thing. I think they're going to like
early.
Yeah, early, but it might be a thing where they put the relationship on pause just for the sake of what they need to do.
I have a question.
Just like a certain trope.
I have a question for you.
I hope I have an answer.
They brought up the idea very early in this show, and they have now hinted. They have now hinted that Callum may turn evil, or something might happen. Do we have a love triangle between Callum and Claudia, and Callum and Rayla?
That's not actually the triangle that I was actually thinking of.
Terry's mixed it too. You got a full weight love triangle.
No. I saw this season, and you know exactly what I'm going to say. And you might totally disagree, but there was something that the way that they said certain words and phrases that made me think this. I think it's going to be Callum, Soren, and Rayla.
Oh,
yeah.
So yeah, you know what? They've always had an interesting relationship.
Yeah.
Even when they didn't like each other and they fought, it was like they had this not a love relationship, but they had this rivalry.
Yeah.
And then even when Claudia was about to kill her, he was like, "Wait, shouldn't we wake her up and duel her? And it's more honorable."
It's not going to be Claudia. I think Claudia is like kind of not dead and buried in Callum's heart, but it's not there anymore. It's not there anymore.
That's interesting. But now they.
Well, let me just. What made me
got me excited. You got me excited.
What kind of confirmed that to me was the whole shoe smelly feet thing, and that's what made me.
Yeah.
That's what made me think, because it was because they did it in a funny, but you're a stupid guy, but it's a guy thing. I kind of like you.
I can see. No, I can see that. That's not a horrible prediction right there, John. It would be a very interesting dynamic of how Callum will view Soren.
Right, but here's the thing, though. I think obviously it's going to be Callum and Rayla that end up together. I mean, that's the obvious thing. I think Soren's going to be the one to approach Rayla, and Rayla might reject. Who knows? But I think, or Rayla might use Soren for jealousy.
Well, see, that's why I'm kind of back. We just went away from negatives. We're talking about love triangles. But real quick, that's why I kind of went back to Claudia.
Yeah.
Because they set that up so much at the beginning, and I'm like, Claudia's now dating this throwaway character that no one really likes. And he has his moments, I will say. No, that's what I'm saying. He has his moments, but is this kind of this throwaway character? And just what if he already has mentioned, like, oh, Claudia, that was kind of evil.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, what if going in the next season he starts not feeling the same way because he starts seeing how evil she is and what they're doing is wrong.
I mean, Viren just turned all dark, so I mean,
right. So he might be like, this is too much. Minnie breaks her heart, but then they convince somehow, some way, Callum to join them or to work with them or something, because Callum, they keep hinting, you have evil in you, and and all of a sudden he starts falling for her again, and she convinces him. And it's more like love. It's more like love. It's not her just trying to trick him. Like, they do fall in love.
That could be. That's a thought.
I like yours too, though. It's a thought. I like yours too.
No, I mean, it's a thought. It's a good it's a good thought. It's thought provoking because it's like this could happen.
It's a good exercise. Any other negatives that we can think of? I mean, I think overall the season was written really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like you said, the art was great. Characters, the main characters that were developed, they are some that are pulling away a little bit more. Plot line wise, it seems as though the side plot is at an end, or at least evolving in a way. Like, he might break free or something, but that plot's kind of gonna evolve, so it's not gonna be exactly what it was. So I do like that. But yeah, even though I think this season was super strong, I like where we're going to.
It didn't go downhill. It didn't dip.
No, this season, I think this is probably the only season that it's like there was no dipping point, because some seasons start off slow and they rise up. Season 1 started off pretty strong, and then we felt like the last 2 or 3 episodes dipped down.
Hmm.
They also did a really good job. This is what I forgot earlier that I said I forgot something. Season 1, season 2 introduced way too much, way too quick, way too often.
100%.
They're
100%.
not doing that anymore. They might introduce one, like they introduced the gems. Those
The moon
stones.
opals. Yep.
Yes, the opals. Yes, that's pretty much all they've introduced this entire season.
And the dragons, the different realm,
new
the
concept.
different regions.
I'm fine with new regions and new concept, like new areas. Like I'm fine with that, but new concepts and new ideas, I don't like. Don't throw too many ideas to me because I have to remember all these different concepts and ideas. And I understand like some of our but some people say, oh, take notes. And I am starting to take notes when it comes to characters' names and stuff like that, but I shouldn't have to take notes and to watch a show. Like I'm watching a show to watch a show to enjoy myself. I understand taking notes when it comes to areas and names of places and names of characters. But if I'm sitting down and watching Lost for the first time ever, which I'm doing right now, I don't have a notebook with me and taking notes. You know what I mean? Like, so you shouldn't have to. So when they introduced us to 10 different ideas in like the first 6 episodes, it was a lot and it was hard to retain.
To be fair, the first season or 2, I took the notes.
You did take the notes. No, you probably didn't. You might have. And I'm not saying taking notes is like a bad thing, but for me,
no, I get it. You want enjoyment. I get it.
A good show should not tell you to have to take notes for you to understand what's going on.
No, I mean,
characters' names I get because it's not like God bless his soul. The one good thing about Terry is he has a normal name. Everyone else doesn't. I can understand the name aspect. I mean, I'm sure if you watch Avatar: The Airbender for the first time, you're like, what's the brother of Katara's name again? Like, or what's the Fire Lord's name? They keep saying his name. Is it Uza? I get that.
Uza.
I get that. But when it comes to the plot, I shouldn't have to go through a notepad to remember what happened 4 episodes ago or what, you know what I mean? Like I just shouldn't. And I didn't have to do that in this season. I knew that's why I was saying it flowed really well. It felt like there was all the concepts I understood, everything that they brought me and said that they gave me new concepts and new ideas. I brought it in and I said, okay, I get it. I get where we're going. So I like that a lot. All right. Well, I mean, anything else you want to talk about? We didn't have too many negatives. I don't think there's besides I think that one big negative we had. Anything else? I think you froze or I froze.
You froze.
Sorry, I said anything else at like 350 or something.
Wait
until I unfreeze. Am I still frozen on your end?
Yes.
I don't know why some of my pages aren't responding. I should be able to get out and get back in if I don't end our recording.
I don't know why you keep freezing.
I don't know why either. I don't know what's going on. Close the program. Microsoft Edge is not responding.
Oh, you have to use Google Chrome, buddy. Google Chrome is free.
I'm back. I just got to delete this one.
Oh my god. 3 you're on another. That's funny.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, anyway, going back.
Nothing else to really add.
Yeah, nothing else really add with negatives. Okay, well, cool. Last thing we do is predictions. Where do you think you're going?
So Viren turns very dark. That's what we know. I think Claudia and Terry are gonna be like, Terry's not gonna say this, but Claudia's gonna be like, Dad, are you okay? Like, Like that kind of.
I'm talking about the season. Like, where do you think we're going? Not the next scene.
Well,
Where do you think we're
part of
going?
it, but it's part of it
Okay, all
because
right.
it's. I think you're gonna have two villains again. You're gonna have Erebos and Viren.
So you think they're going to come back as main villains?
Yeah,
Yeah. No.
with Viren probably taking the lead again.
Mhm.
As that's what's hinted. And then, I mean, I'm assuming Callum, Rayla, and the gang,
Mhm.
the main gang, they'll go to the next dragon.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna. I think that's season six, right? No,
We're
5.
in season
Season
5.
5 is majority of season 5 is going to be about going to the different dragons.
Yeah,
Because there's 6 of them, right?
I think so.
1 per element, and we have 1 so far.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be this season is going to be primarily maybe every episode is going to be going to a different dragon to get the information they need. I guess do they all have different map pieces, or I kind of forgot. Do they all have different map pieces, or they all just know
They know some
different?
kind of knowledge
They know
of.
some type of knowledge of where he's at. They might just be map pieces that you put together.
Well, I guess that also begs the question of how did Callum and them get the map? I know
They don't.
how
They didn't
Claudia
get.
and them get the map. Oh,
No,
they
they
did.
they don't. They don't have the map. Yeah, Claudia has the map.
Well, I knew that, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 6. So I'm
So they're
assuming.
missing a piece. They're missing a
So what?
piece.
Yeah, what I'm assuming is there's 6 pieces of map. Think locator cards, and you have the 6 pieces, and you put the 6 pieces together to get you the location.
Yeah.
But the only way to get it is if you have all 6, and each dragon from each, let's say, realm, I guess you could say, has one of the pieces, so to make sure that no one will ever find where this hidden thing is unless you get one from each dragon.
Right.
Which sets us up for potentially a great season 5 and maybe even 5 and 6. I do think in that same time, Callum turns dark since they hinted at it already. So by the time you get to season 7 is dark magic because it goes. So all seasons of Dragon Prince. Because the seasons go names. So you go Moon is season 1, Sky is season 2, Sun is season 3, Earth is season 4, Ocean is season 5, Stars is season 6, Dark is season 7. So I think that by the end, Callum will turn dark. Now, is he going to be completely evil? Is he going to have I don't know, but I just have a feeling by the end of season 6, going into season 7, Erebos is going to have control of Callum somehow, some way.
That's a good prediction.
So, we need some Corvus. Corvus hasn't been in the show.
We need some Corvus. We need some Ophelia or Opal. Ophelia, is that her name?
Who?
The lady that we keep forgetting at Tertullus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think
also, the girl.
I don't remember her name. The queen, she's like the queen of her own kingdom, right?
Yeah. Should have taken notes. You forgot. Yeah, no, I forgot her name. She's a child. She's probably a teenager now.
Yep.
Anissa, I think her name was something like that. But yeah, she'll probably come back. So yeah, but I'm excited for this season, or next season. So
yeah, me too.
Cabbage Crew.
So should you, Cabbage Crew.
You should be excited to watch us. Be excited to watch this.
I want you to watch our reactions.
No, you know what? Your parents are gonna walk in your room Your parents are going to see you excited about watching us be excited, about watching Rayla be excited, about being with Callum, who's excited, because Ezrin is excited of being a king of an excited Dragon Prince.
Don't ever say walk in a room and they see you excited.
I just needed to add another layer. You know what I mean?
Never say that again.
I needed to add another layer.
Never say that.
Dragon Prince.
And then they see Callum excited.
And then they're on a bunch of excitement. Cabbage Crew, we appreciate it. Check out all of our Dragon Prince videos. Also, we're going to be putting out Dragon Prince Season 5 reactions as well. So definitely check that out. We'll see you next time.
Check it out. See you, Cabbage Crew.